Testing. Alright. Hazmat Material Incident Management. Unit 2 Incident Command System. National Response Plan. The Homeland Security Presidential Directive 5. President directed the development of the new response plan with a line with the federal coordination structural capability to reach over the unified, all discipline, all habits approach with the domestic incident management. This approach unique and far-reaching that is first time eliminated with the critical scheme of the first together the complete spectrum of incident management activities to include the prevention, preparedness, response to, recovery of terrorism, major natural disasters, other major emergency with the end result of improve the coordination among federal, state, local, tribal governments to help save the protective the American community, to increase the speed, the effectiveness, efficiency within this command. The National Response Plan represents the true national framework in both product and process of the National Response Plan development process include the coordination from the federal, state, local, and tribal governments for the time governmental organization, private sector entity with the first responder, the emergency and management community with across the country. The National Response Plan incorporates the best practice, wide variety of the incident management disciplines, include the fire rescue, emergency management, law enforcement, public works, emergency medical services, and the collective input we receive the public and private sector partners have been and will continue to be the absolute and critical with the implementation confined with refinement to core concepts included with the groundbreaking national plan. National Response Plan is built with a template with the National Incident Management System, with which for the provide with the consistent detectional fire framework of the incident management and with the all jurisdictional level, regardless of the cause of the type of the complexity of the incident, of the activation of the National Response Plan, able to coordinate structure for the protocol with either partially or fully for specific incident for the national significant, provide with the mechanism of the coordinated implementation of a wide variety of the incident management system and emergency assistance activities include the activities of federal support with the state, with the local and federal, state, local, and tribal authority, the interaction with the non-governmental, with the private donor, with the private sector organization, coordinate with the direct executive with the federal authority with an appropriate national response team plan. Is an essential element of the border policy with the coordination with the reconciliation with the mechanism of the federal government, the operational resource with the coordination resources structure with the describe of the national response plan, with the describe of the supporting existing White House policy mechanism of decision making at need with the describing the response to the specific threat and with the incident with also the national response plan itself created new authority with the serve the unified with the enhanced incident management and capability of the resource of the individual agency the obligation organization acting in under their own authority with the response with a wide area with a potential threat and hazards. National Response Plan is with the comprehensive the national all heads with the approach with the domestic incident management and include is predicted the national incident management system. Provide a structure mechanism at the national level of policy, operational condition of the domestic incident. Does not alter the improper federal, state, local, and tribal government agency. Specific authority assumes incident typical to manage the lowest possibility geographic organizational jurisdiction level. Alright, the National Incident Management System on February 28, 2003, President Bush issued the National Incident Management Plan with the enhanced with the ability with the United States with the management of the domestic incident with establishing a single comprehensive National Incident Management System that serve with the summarize with the key with the goal of the National Incident Management System and has added 15. The Secretary shall develop the Smith with the review of the Homeland Security with the Council Administrator with the National Incident Management System, and the system shall provide with a consistent nationwide approach with the federal, state, and local government to work with effectively, efficiently together with the prepare, respond with the recover the domestic incident regardless of the cause and side with the complexity to provide with the interoperable compatibility of the federal, state, local capability with the National Incident Management System, which will include the core concepts, principles, terminology, technology covering the incident command system, multi-agent coordination system, unified command, training and identification management of resource including system of classifying typical resource for the qualification, certification, the collection, tracking of the reporting incident information, incident resources. One of the most concepts of the National Incident Management System scope of effectively integrate with the federal, state, and local government planning, preparation, response capability, implementing consistent nationwide approach with the record keep with the recovering of the domestic incident, the require the cooperation, investment by responders all levels of the government to harmonize the efforts of the National Response Plan is directed by the President as described in the creation of the National Response Plan. The directive from the President requires all federal government as agency to adopt the National Incident Management System with the aim of the individual domestic incident management system and emergency preservation, preparedness, response, recovery, the mitigation program, the activities as well to support all of the action taken by the assist the state and local tribal entities. The directive also requires the federal department as agency to make an adaptation to the National Incident Management System with the state local organization with the condition of federal preparedness assistance with through government and grants and contracts, other activities. The National Incident Management System, March 1st, 2004, has, after collaboration, state local government officials with the representative of many of the public safety organization, Department of Homeland Security, And the issue with the National Incident Management System. The National Incident Management System represents the core subset of the document, principles, terminology, organizational processes, enable effective, efficient, and collaborative incident management at a level to provide framework with the interoperability capability of the National Incident Management System designed to achieve the practical balance between flexibility and standardization. The National Incident Management System is the the Incident Command System and the standard incident with the organizational structure for management of all incidents. The National Incident Management System interests integrate with the existing best practice, consistent with the nationwide approach for the domestic incident management with the applicable with the jurisdictional level across functional disciplines of the all head of the content of the six major components of the makeup of the system and approach of these components of the concept, practice for the command of the management of the preparedness of the fully developed, the reflecting of the regular youth of any of the jurisdictional levels and agency. Responsible for the incident management, across the control of the resource management, communication, information management, with the support of technology, ongoing with the management, maintenance with the introduction, many of the concepts of the requirements of that are integral with the National Incident Management System, where they require further collaborative development, the refinement over time, and although they were heavily relying on the technology to link with the component of the National Incident Management System, the success of the National Incident Management System will depend largely on whether the state, the local, and tribal governments also adopt the key implementation strategy for the accompanying use of the technologies. The following discussion summarizes the National Incident Management System document. See National Incident Management document March 1st, 2004, at FEMA Gov National Incident Management System. Provide brief synopsis of each major component of the National Incident Management System, as well as these components work together. The system provide with the national framework for the preparing, preventing, responding to the recovery of the domestic incident, regardless of the cover, the size of the complexity of the command and management. The National Incident Management Command opponent is based on three key organizations: Incident Command, Multi-Agent Coordination System, Public Information System, Incident Command System. Define the operational character of the interactive management components. Structure the incident management and emergency response organization engaged throughout the life cycle of the incident command. The multi-agent coordination system defined the operational character of the interactive management component with the organizational structure, support and coordinate with the entity engaged with the federal, state, local, tribal, regional levels with the multi-aid agreements with the other system with the arrangements for the arrangements, public information system refer to the process, perceive the system for the communication timely, accurate for information for the public during crisis or the emergency situation. Prepared. And effective incident with the management beginning with the host of the preparedness activities conducted on a steady basis will advance with the potential incident for the prepared involved within integrated with the combination planning, training, action for the personal qualification, certification, standard equipment acquisition, certification, standard publication management process activity planning. Describe how the personal equipment, other resources used with the support of the incident with the management, the emergency response activity plans provide the mechanism, system setting, priority, the integrating multi-entity function, ensuring the communication of the system available to integrate with the support of the full spectrum of the incident management requirements. Multi-aid agreements must be a substantial part of the planning effort. The agreement that may be extended far beyond the contiguous jurisdiction into a similar resource within another part of the state and even in another state. If the information from the interstate module agreements can be found with the emacweb.org. Training includes the standard course of multi-agent incident command management, organizational structure, and operational procedure of the discipline, specifically agent specific incident management resource of the course of the integration, even the support technology required, baseline incident command system training depending upon the individual's functional role within the incident management structure is based on 4 standard levels of incident command system training. I-100 Introduction Incident Command Systems, I-200 Basic Incident Command Systems, I-300 Intermediate Incident Command Systems, I-400 Advanced Incident Command Systems. Incident Command System Training has developed the manage the administrator of the fire rescue of the California Organized Potential Emergency with the National Wildfire Coordinating Group, the National Fire Academy Emergency Management Institute, and is covered with the National Incident Management System compliant with the new web-based blending and learning with the classroom format I-100, I-200, I-300, I-400. Having been developed by jointly U.S. Fire Administrator with the National Fire Protection Division of the EMI, U.S. Department of Agriculture with the National Wildlife Coordination Group with the support of the National Integration Management System Integration Center. Incident Management Organization with a personal participant with a realistic except of the multidisciplinary, multi-jurisdictional, multi-sector interactions to improve the integration and operable optimize resource during the incident operation qualification certification activities undertaken to identify with the public's national level to stand with the measure of the performance against these standards and ensure the incident management of the emergency respond with the personnel qualified appropriately with the certified official will perform the national incident management system related function of the national incident the NIC retained the responsibility of establishing the criteria to comply with the developing related standards design qualification certification process and implementation by the states. Incident management organization emergency responders at all levels rely on the various type of equipment to perform the mission essential task. The critical component of the operation prepared for the acquisition equipment will be performed in a certain standard that include the capability and operability similar equipment that you with the other jurisdiction. Publication management refers to the form standardization, developing publication material with administrative publication, including establishing, naming, and numbering the convention, managing the publication, promulgation of the documents, exercising control over sensitive documents, and revising publication when necessary. Communication and Information System, the National Incident Management System, and the requirement of the standardized framework of the communication information management, collection, analysis, dissemination of the information sharing at all the levels of the incident management command with the elements of the incident management, communication, and information management, incident management organization must ensure the effective and operable communication private the procedure of the system exists with the support of a wide variety of the incident management activities across the agency and jurisdictional information management private the procedure system help to ensure the information including the communication with the data with the flow efficiently through the common accepted the architectural supporting numerous agencies for the jurisdiction responsible for managing the directing domestic incident. Those affected by the incident, those contributing research for the incident management, efforts affected with the information management, and hand with the incident management and response that helps to ensure critical decision making is better informed. Supporting technological systems that provide support with the capabilities essential for the implementing and continue with the refining the National Incident Management System. This includes the voice for the data communication system, information management system, record keeping, and resource tracking. Data display with the system also include the specialized technologies facilitate ongoing operation, incident management activities, and situational call with the unique technology-based capabilities, ongoing monitoring, management, and maintenance. This component established for the activity provides strategic direction for and oversight of the National Incident Management System for both routine review and the continuous refinement of the system component of the over long term. The one of the primary responsible for the National Institute Command is NIC with a multi-jurisdictional, multidisciplinary entity made of the federal stakeholders, state, local, and tribal incident management, the first responder organization, the Department of Homeland Security with the National Incident Command. Establishes required compliance with the date with the facility with the development of the standard guidelines compliance protocol to determine whether federal, state, or local tribal entities have adopted the respective aspect of the National Incident Management System. The National Incident Command also publishes an ongoing on the basis of additional standard with the guideline compliance with the protocol for the aspect of the National Incident Management System not yet fully developed. National Incident Command with developed the webpage to provide with updated information resources to assist with the National Incident Management System implementation. FEMA.gov.NIMS include the information required with the supplemental training. All responded with the download PDF version of the National Incident Management System. Also can be found on the website. State local jurisdiction required with the complying with the National Incident Management System on October 1st, 2006, with complying with a certain aspect of the National Incident Management System post-prior with this date, especially for the institution and use of the Incident Command System. Other key technology dependent aspects of the National Incident Management System may require with additional development of refinement that enable the complying with the state, local, and tribal governments. Future yet to be determined the data of the data communication system interoperability. An online independent study program called the National Incident Management System. An introduction provides an overview of the National Incident Management System. The course can be found with the National Emergency Training Center, virtual campus training, FEMA.gov. The course number is IS 700. Responders at local and state and federal level are required to complete this training at required under the National Incident Management System. Difference between the Fire Resource of California organized for the potential emergency incident command system and the National Incident Management System incident command system. Incident command system and the National Incident Management System based on the incident command system developed with the fire scope within the exemption of the how the information intelligence function of the handle the principle of the accounts for the National Incident Management System and incident command system are the same with the fire scope of the incident command. The same incident command used in the National Interagency Incident Management System. See FEMA.gov, the National Incident Management for history of the Incident Command System. Incident Command System organization have a major function for the command operation planning with the logistic financing and administration of the National Incident Management System and command and Incident Command System. A potential six functional area with the established with the information intelligence function provided with the analysis sharing of the information. Intelligence doing the incident intelligence can be included in national security classified information, but also in operational information side of the risk assessment, medical intelligence, weather information, structural design of the building, toxic contaminant level, etc. that may conform from a various sort of the traditional information intelligence function on the list of the, located in the planning section. However, the exemptional situation incident commander may need to assign the role to the others. The incident command system organization under the National Incident Management System, incident command system. The information intelligence function may be assigned in one of the following ways: within the command staff as a unit within the planning section, as a branch for the operations section, as a separate general staff section. The only difference between the National Incident Management System Incident Command System for scope of the incident commands for the title of the command staff and public position public information officer of the U for the title more clearly differentiates the responsible for the coordinated information from the public to the coordinated information intelligence gathering of the resolving incident of the National Incident Command was established to provide the strategic direction and oversight of the National Incident Management System, supporting both routine maintenance of the continuous refinement of the system and the component of the over the long term of the National Incident Command will oversee all the aspects of the National Incident Management System through the multidisciplinary working group that facilitates the development and understanding of the system, resources to meet the National Incident Management System goals fully, situated at DHS, VEMA, of the fully state with the National Incident Command with its multi-jurisdiction, multi-discipline, entity made with the federal stakeholders, the state with the local, tribal, incident of the management, first responder organization, so many for the National Incident Command will undertaken during its first few years of the implementing national-wide system for the qualification, certification, credential, incident management, personnel of the organization, basing the existing national consensus standard for the facility for the development of the national standard for qualification, certification, incident management, personnel with equipment with no standard that exists. This personal providing with the guidance for the tool helps participating in understanding and comply with the National Incident Management System for the implementing of the system. So an example of the National Incident Management product and reach for the AIS 700 with the National Incident Management and an introduction which can take it online through the NETC virtual campus can be downloaded with the classroom delivery for the USFA website. NIMS Complete Assurance Support Tool Checklist adopting National Incident Management, FEMA.National Incident Management CAS and Index Module Mutual Aid Agreement Resource Type Definition, Incident Command System Training Information. Are the National Response Plan. They issued in 1992 with the Federal Response Plan with outline of the federal government that implemented with the Robert T. Staff of the Disaster Relief Emergency Assistance Act as a member of the state and local governments with a major disaster emergency overwhelmed with the ability to respond effectively to the size of the lives of the protecting public health and safety of the property critical of their communities. The federal response plan was described with the policy of the city, with the planning of the assumption of the concept of the operation response for the recovery of the action with the responsibility of the 25 federal departments and agency of the American Red Cross with the Federal Red Areas Response Plan, the guide with the Federal Operation Fund with the Presidential Declaration with a major disaster of the emergency. Homeland Security Act with the 2002 with the Presidential Directive, the mandate of the development of the National Response Plan with the define the single comprehensive of the national approach of the incident required with the federal response with the system for the additional with the National Response Plan identified with the coordinated structure for the mechanism and the direction and incorporate for the concurrent information of the existing plan consistent with approaching the report of the incident of the National Response Plan and also required with the approving of the incident assessment with the making a recommendation with the President, Department of Homeland Security, Secretary of the Homeland Security Council, and specifically with the head HSPD 5 or the Presidential Directive to take for the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security as filed with the emphasis for the need of the Secretary shall develop and submit with the review of the Homeland Security Council the Ministry of the National Response Plan. Secretary shall consult with the appropriate assistance of the President, including the assistance of the President with the economical policy, direct with the Office of the Sign of the Technology Policy. Other federal officials may be appropriate for developing and implementing the National Response Plan, which should be integrated with the federal government domestic prevention, preparedness, response, recovery plan within all one discipline. All heads of the plan with the National Response Plan will be unclassified with the critical and operational aspect require classification. This should be included with the classified annex for the National Response Plan. National Response Plan, even the National Incident Management System, shall be regarded with the response with the domestic incident to provide the structure of the mechanism of the national level, the policy, operational, directional, federal support, state, local incident management that exists is exercised with the direct federal authority with responsibility as appropriate. National response will include the protocols operating under the different threats of the threat level, incorporating existing federal emergency incident management plan with appropriate modification or revision as either integrated component with the national response plan and support of the operational plan with additional operational plan with the annex appropriately include with the public affairs with the intergovernment communications. National response plan shall include with the consistent approach of the reporting incident of the provide with the assessment making recommendations to the President of the Secretary of the Homeland Security Council. National response shall include vigorous requirements of the continuous improvement of the testing of the exercises and experiences with the existence of new information from the technology. National Response Plan creates a single all head of the federal plan with the prevention preparation respond with the recovery plan. The National Response Plan is built on the temple of the National Incident Management System, provided with a consistent doctrinal framework with the incident management at all jurisdictional level, regardless of the cause and size of the complexity of the incident. National Response Plan supersedes the Federal Response Plan with the Domestic Terrorism Concept with the Operational Plan with the Federal Radiological Emergency Response Plan with the Initial National Response Plan with many of the familiar concepts of the mechanisms associated with these plans have been carried out with the National Response Plan, such as the emergency support function and the component of the Federal Response Plan with the elements institutionalized with the National Response Plan include the Homeland Security Operations Center, Interagency Incident Management Group, the principal federal official with the Joint Field Office, National Response Plan that is based the plan with established within the national framework of assessing the domestic incident with determine the appropriate level of federal involvement. It's designed to link it in an array with the national level of hazards, specifically contingency plan with the national oil hazard substance pollution contingency plan, which is a plan guiding for the federal response to oil spill release of the hazard substance contingency plan that can be implemented with an independently during localized incident with concurrently with the national response plan to coordinate with the interagency incident management efforts of the need of the national incident management system for events considered of the incident of the national significance. National response plan defined with the incident of the national significance of those that meet the following criteria. When another federal department agency has requested the Department of Homeland Assistance with the state and local capability to overwhelm the federal assistance is requested the incident of the substantial involved with more than one federal department agency. When Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security has been directed by the President to assume the incident of the management responsibility of the National Response Plan Committee, following identified with the component part of the national response plan, the base plan with the describe the structure of the profit, the component of the national approach for the domestic incident envelope management, the describe the integrate with the effort of the reach of the federal, state, local, tribal, the private sector for the non-governmental organization based plan, include the planning assumption, the role of the responsibility, concept of the operation, incident management, action plans, and maintenance of the instruction and appendix that provide the other relevant and more detailed supporting information, include the terms, definition, acronyms, authority, compendium of the National Interagency Plan of the Emergency Support Function, annex of the detail of the mission, policy, structure of the responsibility of federal agents, coordinate with the resource of the problematic support for the state of the tribe of the other federal agents of the other jurisdiction, and needs during incident with the national significant introduction to the emergency support function, annexes, summarizes the function of the emergency support function, coordinators, primary support agencies know that there is an increase in the number of the emergency support function for the National Response Plan with the 215 from the original 12 of the old federal response plan with the emergency support function annexes include 1. Transportation, 2. Communication, 3. Public Works and Engineering, 4. Firefighting, 5. Emergency Management, 6. Mass Care, Housing, Human Services, 7. Resource Support, 8. Public Health and Medical Services, 9. Urban Search and Rescue, 10. Oil Hazard Material Response, 11. Aggregated Natural Resource, 12. Energy, 13. Public Safety, Security, 14. Long-Term Community Recovery and Mitigation, 15. External Affairs. Our support action provided with the guidance that describe the functional profit administrative requirements necessary to ensure the effectiveness of the implementation of National Response Plan incident management objective support annexes are described below. Financial management provides guidance for the National Response Plan implementation for the incident with the relief of the fund with the provided expedition for the financial management activities job within accordance with the established level of policy regulations stand for the moral purpose of the National Response Plan. Hazard materials in general determined intended with the include the hazardous substance pollutants, the contaminants of the defined of the National NCP. International coordination provides the guidance for the carrying out of the responsibility of international coordinated support for the federal response to domestic incident with the national significance. Logistic management describes the framework of which the overall of the national response plan with the logistics management function operates. It is outlined logistic management responsibility with the mechanism of the integrated federal, state, and local and tribal resource provider. Private sector coordination outlined properly ensure the effective incident of the management coordinated with the integration of the private sector with include the representative of the nation's critical infrastructure for the key resources for the sector for the other industry, public affairs, describe the interagency incident communication procedure designed to enable the coordination to disseminate timely and public information during incident of national significance. Science and technology provides guidance for the mechanism to ensure all levels of the government can leverage with the national science and technology resources to effectively management incident of the national significance, tribal relations, describe the policy of the responsibility concept of the operation, effective coordination and interaction with the tribal government. Communities join the incident of the national significance, volunteer domination management provided with the guidance and voluntary donation management function related to the incident of national significance, wars, work and safety health, detailed process ensure the coordinated comprehensive efforts to identify the responder safety health risks and implement perceived and limited amount of eliminated illness and injury during incident management and emergency response activities. Incident annexes addresses contingency hazard situation requires special application for the national response plan index and incident annexes describe the mission policy for the responsibility coordination process of the government interaction, public and private and even engaged with the incident management and emergency response for the operation cover the spectrum of the potential hazard. These annexes typically are augmented with the variable of the supporting plan with the operational supplement incident annexes described below. Biological index annex describe the incident management activities related to the biological terrorism event, pandemic, emerging infectious disease, novel pathogen outbreaks, satisfactory incident annex, establish strategy of the implementing, coordinating, accelerated national response with the catastrophic incident. Cyber incident analytics established the procedure with a multidisciplinary broad base with approach with the preparation of the remediation recovery of the catastrophic cyber events affecting critical national process, national and climate food and agricultural index and describe the incident management activities with the terrorist exact major disaster, other emerging involved with the national agricultural food system to be published with a subsequent version of the plan. Nuclear radiological incident annex to describe the incident management activities related with the nuclear radiological incident. Oil hazard material incident annex to describe the incident management and the activity related with certain national and insignificant oil hazard pollution incidents. Terror incident law enforcement investigation annex to describe the law enforcement critical investigation structural process with response to a terrorist event. Best premise of the National Response Plan is that the incident handle the lowest governmental level possible. The Department of Homeland Security involved with a routine report with the monitoring of the threats and incidents will be notified with the incident, the potential incident, with the severity, with the magnitude, complexity, threat of the Homeland Security. It is considered an incident with the national significance. The Department of Homeland Security established multi-agency structural headquarters regional field level coordinated efforts to provide support for the unseen incident with the command structure with the other federal agency to carry out their incident management system emergency response authority with the overarching framework. National Response Plan, replay with a certain federal plan with the federal response plan provided with a coordinate with the remaining plan with the during incident and national significance. The National Response Plan required with the complying with the participation of federal department agency, although it is intended specifically for federal agencies, state, local governments are encouraged within the concept of the operation to understand the role of the function of the coordinate with the federal agency with the National Response Plan. The NIC has trouble with validating complying with the National Response Plan with providing guidance with the help of the relevant party, with including state and local governments to understand both the National Response with the National Incident Management System. Initial review of the National Response will occur with 1 year after the implementation plan with the National Response Plan. Will serve the deliberate 4-year review reissuance cycle. National Response Plan can be found with the National Incident Command, FEMA.gov, and online independent study program called the National Response Plan can be found in the NETC Virtual Campus Training, FEMA.gov, course number IS 800A. Alright, Introduction to Incident Command System. Testing.